everyone, my name is Aishwarya Deepsing Rajput from class 10B and today I am going to perform a role play on lesson A Question of Trust by Victor Canning. So let's begin.
Everyone thought that Horace Danby was a good, honest citizen. He was about 50 years old and unmarried, and he lived with a housekeeper who worried over his health. In fact, he was usually very well and happy, except for attacks for hay fever in summer. He made logs and was successful enough at his business to have two helpers. Yes, Horace Danby was good and respectable, but not completely honest. 15 years ago, Horace had served his first and only sentence in a prison library. He loved rare, expensive books. Because of his loves for books, he robbed a safe every year. Each year he planned carefully just what he would do, stole enough to last for 12 months, and secretly bought the books he loved through an agent. Now, walking in the bright July sunshine, he felt sure that this year's robbery was going to be as successful as all the others. For 2 weeks, he had been studying the house at Shootor Grang, looking at its rooms, its electric wiring, its paths, and its garden. This afternoon, the servants who remained in the Grang while the family was in London had gone to the movies. Horace saw him go and he felt happy in spite of a little tickle of hay fever in his nose. He came out from behind the garden wall, his tools carefully packed in his bag. Very interesting books coming up for sale in the autumn. Now he would get the money he wanted to buy them. He had seen the housekeeper hang the key to the kitchen door on hook outside. He put on a pair of gloves, took the key and opened the door. He was always careful not to leave any fingerprints. A small dog was lying in the kitchen. It stirred, made a noise, and moved its tail in a friendly way.
All right, Sherry.
The safe was in the drawing room, behind a rather poor painting. There was a great bowl of flowers on the table, and Horace felt his nose tickle. He gave a little sneeze and then put down his bag. He carefully arranged his tools. He had 4 hours before the servants returned. The safe was not going to be hard to open. After all, he had lived with locks and safes all his life. The burglar alarm was poorly built. Then he went to hall to cut its wire. He came back and sneezed loudly as the smell of the flowers came him again. How foolish people are when they own valuable things, Horace thought. A magazine article had described this house, giving a plan of all the rooms and a picture of this room. The writer had even mentioned that the painting hid a safe. But Horace found that the flowers were hindering him in his work. He buried his face in his handkerchief. Then he heard a voice say from the doorway, "What is it? A cold or hay fever?" Before he could think, Horace said, and found him sneezing again.
You can cure it with a special treatment, you know. If you find out just what plant gives you the disease, I think you did better see a doctor if you are serious about your work. I heard you from the top of the house just now.
It was a quiet, kindly voice, but one with firmness in it. A woman was standing in the doorway. She was young, quite pretty, and was dressed in red.
Damn, Sherry. Anyone would think I had been away for a month. However, I came back just in time, though I didn't expect to meet a burglar.
Horace had some hope because she seemed to be amused at meeting him. He might avoid trouble if he treated her the right way. He replied,
I didn't expect to meet one of the family members. I see, what an inconvenience it is for you to meet me. What are you going to do? My first thought was to run. Of course, you could do that. But I would telephone the police and tell them all about you. They did get you at once. I would, of course, cut the telephone wires first and then I would make sure that you could do nothing for some time. A few hours would be enough. You did hurt me? I think I was trying to frighten you when I said that. But you didn't frighten me. It would be nice if you would forget you ever saw me and let me go. Why should I? You were going to rob me. If I let you go, you will only rob someone else. Society must be protected from men like you. I am not a man who threatens the society. I steal only from those who have lot of money. I steal for very good reason and I hate the thought of going to prison. Look, I have no right to ask you for anything, but I am desperate. Let me go and I promise never to do this kind of thing again. I really mean it. You are really afraid of going to prison, aren't you? I always like the wrong kind of people.
She picked up a silver box from the table and took a cigarette from it. Horace, eager to please her and seeing that she might help him, took off his gloves and gave her his cigarette lighter.
You will let me go? Yes, but only if you do something for me.
Anything you say.
Before we left for London, I promised my husband to take my jewels to our bank. But I left them in the safe. I want to wear them to party tonight. So I came down to get them. But you have forgotten the numbers to open the safe. haven't you? Yes. Just leave it to me and you will have them within an hour. But I will have to break your safe. Don't worry about that. My husband won't be there for a month and I will have the safe maintained by that time.
And within an hour, Horace had opened the safe, given her the jewels, and gone happily away.
Three, two, one.
For 2 days, he kept his promise to the young, kind lady. On the morning of the third day, however, he thought of the books he wanted and he knew he would have to look for another ship. But he never got the chance to begin his plan. By noon, a policeman had arrested him for the jewel robbery at Chutor Brang. His fingerprints, for he had opened the safe without gloves, were all over the room, and no one believed him when he said that the wife of the owner of house had asked him to open the safe for her. The wife herself, a grey-haired, sharp-tongued woman of 60, said that the story was nonsense. This is now the assistant librarian in the prison. He often thinks of the charming, clever young lady who was in the same profession as he was and who tricked him. He gets very angry. Anyone talks about honor among thieves. So friends, from this lesson we learned that how the young lady tricked Horace Danby by her smartness and run off by getting profit. Thank you.